Hi there, welcome to Hidden Crowns channel. I'm Bonnie B, and in this video I'm going to show you how to properly fit and stack two of our halo styled extensions. Your hidden crown rat tail comb, a clip, a pair of scissors, and needle nose pliers. So when you go to stack two different halo shaped extensions by Hidden Crown, it's very imperative to decide how you're going to stack. Do you have two different lengths? Two different colors, which one to put on first, which one to put over. So first, if you have two different lengths, such as a 12-inch over a 16-inch, a 16-inch over a 20-inch, or a 14-inch over a 16-inch, the options are endless. The first thing you're gonna wanna keep an eye on is fitting the longer one first. That's the one that you're gonna put on first, and then the shorter one will be fitted over it and be worn over it, so that gives you the layers. Now, if you're doing two different colors to add dimension to your hair color, you'll wanna put the darkest one on the bottom, so the longest length is going to be the darker color. Or say, for instance, if you have a mixed color and a one shade color that's lighter, for a blonde, I would put the shade that has the dimensions on first as the longest length, and then the one over it. This way it looks more natural. The color dimensions, if you're adding color that you don't have into your hair, it kind of blends nice and seamlessly when all the hair is styled together. So to recap, always do the shorter length on top of the longer length. And for color mixing, you're gonna wanna do the darker color underneath and the lighter color on top. Or if you're doing color mix with another color that is just a one shade color, you do the mixed color first as the longest length, and then the one color on top as the shorter length. So I have two 18-inch DayDreams here. That's just what I decided to go ahead and show you on. It doesn't matter. This is the same for Hidden Crown halo shaped extension, or if you're even doing a stack of a DayDream over a Hidden Crown. That's another option I didn't mention. If you're mixing a DayDream with a Hidden Crown, because the Hidden Crown halo shaped extension is a lot thicker, you want that one to be your longer dominant length. So the first layer put on is going to be the Hidden Crown, and then the DayDream over it, because the DayDream is less hair and the ends are tapered, so it'll look more like natural layers were cut into your hair when you're wearing them together. So I have two 18-inch DayDream extensions. One is color number 60-8P and the other is color number 60. We're not gonna get into too much of color, but this is going to match really well with my hair because I have the low light that is in 60-8P in my hair, but I also have a ton of platinum blonde, so it's gonna blend really nicely. So to get started, I'm going to first fit the 60-8P because it's the mixed color with the low light in it. So when you're first getting started in fitting, the micro bead, it's going to come and it's going to look like it is closed. Now, the micro beads come half clamped on every single halo shaped extension Hidden Crown offers. And the reason for this is when it's half clamped, it's going to give you tension. So you need tension in the wire when you're going to fit it. You do not want to open this micro bead because then you won't have any control over it. So it's kind of like a pulley system. You're gonna have the excess wire that's going to act as your pulley. So I see how I can pull them close together. So I hold the micro bead over to the right-hand side of the extension. I don't let it go to the middle like that or to the other side. You do not need two wires going across your head like that. That would be an improper fitting. So now at first you have to pull pretty tight and pretty hard to get that wire to slide through that micro bead. You want to hold the micro bead in your right hand closer to the right hand side of the extension. Hold it really tight, and then you're gonna pull the wire that is the excess wire off. You're gonna pull really snug until you get it to budge through there. Once you do, it'll be really easy to slide in and out, and it'll have the proper tension you need. So going to get started, I am going to make sure that microbead stays over to the right here, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull both sides somewhat close together like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and place it on my head, and I want to make sure that that microbead stays over on the right hand side. So I've got it over here on the right hand side. Okay, and then I hold this excess wire. I'm gonna keep it kind of on this side while I'm gonna hold it while I'm adjusting the wire and where it needs to go. So when you go to wear a stack, it's a little different fitting than fitting just one. One, you're gonna wanna put the wire and fit the wire somewhat close to your hairline, anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inches. When you're fitting a stack, the first hidden crown extension that you're putting on, the longer one, the wire is gonna go a little bit further back, because the shorter length, the one you're going to fit over it, the wire is going to go somewhat further in front of the first wire, so they're not going to sit together. So for me, this would be an improper fitting if I were to wear it by itself, the first length. So I'm going to be putting it about, it looks almost about 3 inches back on my head shape, and that's okay because wearing the other wire over it is going to lock it in place, and it's going to keep it from falling off the back of your head. So I'm going to get that in a good fitting right here, not too low on the back of my head, right at the occipital bone. That feels like a pretty good fitting on my head, and it's okay if it's a little loose because, like I said, the shorter one, the one that's going to be fitted over it, I'm going to show you how it locks it in place and it keeps it from sliding off or back off your head. So this feels pretty good. I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to make sure that microbead doesn't move, and making sure that the microbead is somewhat close to the fabric tab on this side. It doesn't have to be right on it. It can be right in front of it, just like that. Take the flat head of your needle nose pliers. If you have teeth on your needle nose pliers, make sure to not clamp it with those teeth. It'll hit grooves into the microbeads. You want a flat portion of your needle nose pliers. You're going to really clamp down on this microbead several times on both sides of it, making sure that this microbead is super smashed closed so that the wire doesn't slide through it ever again. And you have to actually cut it off to remove it. So I'm just going to keep clamping on different corners, really putting some strength into clamping this microbead. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And if you wanted to, you can actually tie a few knots in front of it if you feel like you want to put a little extra reinforcement in front of that microbead, or you can just go ahead and cut the excess off. You want to cut it somewhat small towards that microbead. You don't want a long excess piece of wire sticking out of the microbead. And then you're going to actually go to put it on. So putting that wire right where I fitted it, about almost 3 inches back from my hairline, and making sure I have a part. So with your parting, I have a really clean parting right here. I'm going to start my sectioning right where that wire is going to sit, and I'm going to just dip down all the way around. Now you don't want to pull up too much hair, but you're going to clip up the top half of the hair that is going to lay over this first extension. Clip your hair up and out of the way. Then you're going to focus more on the wire first. See how my fingertips and my hands are facing downward? They are not holding the extension up like this. So I have more control over where that wire is going to be placed. And then I'm going to allow the back part to come down and sit where it's going to lay. So you want to see this parting. It doesn't have to be super perfect. You just don't want a bunch of hair laying over the back weft area. So once that's in place, let your hair down. Number one important part before moving on is combing all the hair from laying underneath the wire here. So this actually will lock it in place and make the wire disappear. So your goal in this is making sure that there's no hair strands laying under the wire. Okay, so again, that wire, I still want you guys to be able to see that wire right here. That's where our wire is. So I want you to be able to see how far forward I put the second one in front of it so that you can kind of see how it locks it in place. Okay, taking your second one, you're gonna do the same exact thing. Bring the microbead over to the right, pull it together closer. You're gonna put your fingers on top so you have control over the wire. Now, I'm gonna put this wire, again, the other wire is right there. Now this wire is right up here. It's a good inch in front of the other wire. So you want it a good distance away because you don't want them laying together or sliding together. So then I'm just gonna go ahead and fit like I would. But it's going to be a looser fitting because there's a lot more in the way here between my scalp and the fitting of it laying over my hair. So keep in mind when fitting a stack, when you go to fit or wear one of these by themselves, it might be looser than normal just because it is fitted slightly looser. Okay, so that's a good fitting there. Don't let that microbead move on you so that you can clamp it right where it needs to be shut. And again, you're gonna clamp really, really tight with the flat end of the needle nose pliers. And either tie some knots for some more reinforcement, or you can just tie off the excess. Be very careful. Okay, so going to put on the second one. So again, we're going to start in the parting right where we fitted it, which was a good inch in front of the other one, and I'm going to come around, and I'm not going to take all the hair. I'm going to take just enough that will cover. I mean, this is almost all of it. I guess we can take all of it. The only part you don't want touching is the wires laying in the same place. So not having any hair in between, that's okay. I have thinner hair, that's why I don't have very much to work with. So tie this up out of the way. Again, your hands on top. You do not want them underneath. You don't want to flip it over. You want to just slide it over so you have control on that wire. Now you're going to be able to see how this looks here. You can see the bottom one peeking up underneath this top one. So the top one's wire comes in front of the other wire and it lays right over it like this. So there's no way it could come off or slide off unless you were to sleep in it, swim in it, or put your head upside down. There's no way these would come off. It kind of locks it in place like this. You can see it over here as well. Okay, so to finish, most important part, you're gonna comb all that hair laying underneath the wires from laying under them, making them disappear and locking them in place. There we go. And then you can style as desired. And you're on your way. You have thicker, fuller hair in less than 5 minutes. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you found this video helpful. Make sure to tag us on your social media when you're wearing your stack of hidden crown hair extensions. Hope Hope you found this video helpful. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can find tons of content on everything you need to know about owning and wearing a hidden crown hair extension. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.